Vítame vás na dnešnom kultúrnom zápase, v ktorom sa stretne vyzývateľ z Košíc Šándor Máraj s borcom z Prahy Francom Kafkom v boji o titul Európskeho mesta kultúry. Áno, zápas sa začína. Košice spolu s celým Slovenskom sú v napätí. Franc útočí a Šándor si pred jeho direktom nešikovne trvie tvár. Je zasiahnutý, ale tvrdo opláca Francovi, je to neuveriteľné, ale stalo sa nemožné. Máraj, slovenský reprezentant, víťazí KO. Na Francovej tvári môžeme vidieť, že bojujú o umenie skutočne boli, ale každopádne titul mesta kultúry ostáva stále v Košiciach.
So, hi, I'm Dick Penny. I'm Managing Director of Watershed in Bristol. We're a cultural centre focusing on screen media, so film and digital media. We're housed in two old dockside transit sheds. So the water that you see here is the old docks of Bristol. Used to be a very busy dock through the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries. But we're about 8 miles from the mouth of the river. So as we got into the middle of the 20th century, it just wasn't practical, and the docks moved to the mouth of the river. And so all the area around the docks became completely derelict. And these two sheds were going to be knocked down in the late 70s. And a campaign group got together to keep the dockside landscape, and these sheds were preserved. And the deal that was done was that on the ground floor there would be cafes and bars, and on the first floor it would be for public cultural use. And so out of that, some young people in Bristol who were mad film lovers got the money together to set up a new cultural film centre. And so Watershed opened in 1982 with lots of energy and enthusiasm and almost no money at all. In fact, it borrowed money to get itself off the ground. Here we are inside in the cafe bar. It's a little bit too cold outside to keep talking for very long. 30 years ago, before this building was converted to be Watershed, the whole area, as I said, was derelict. A lot of jobs had been lost through the dereliction of this area. Jobs had moved out of the city centre, and so there was a real move to try and regenerate the city centre. And it was cultural organisations like Watershed that drove the desirability of the space, that got people to use their city centre again. And through that rehabilitation of spaces, through creating a destination that people wanted to come together, other businesses began to grow up. So we now have an environment around Watershed that is very vibrant, that's full of life, that's economically very buoyant. Mainly cafe bars, but lots and lots of businesses, a real growth in hotels, and it's been one of the beacons in selling Watershed to the rest of the world. So we act as a centre that hosts a lot of international film festivals. That brings people from all over the world. We showcase film from all over the world, and that brings the creative talent behind those to Bristol. When Watershed was set up, it had 3 core strands of business. The cafe bar was always seen as an essential part of the organisation. It's the place where people meet, it's the place where ideas are hatched. It's continued to be the hub of the organisation, as well as a revenue generator for our cultural practice. The second strand is to use our building as a place for other people to hold events. So we rent ourselves out for conferences and meetings and presentations, and that's a very strong source of income. But the core of the business has always been cultural film. And while cultural film, specialist film, world cinema is a difficult marketplace, we've always stuck to our guns and said we are going to show what you can't see elsewhere. So what we've always offered is an extension of choice, a breadth of choice. And over time, we've built up a very strong and loyal and adventurous audience. But it takes time to build up that audience. Watershed itself has grown its own economic impact. We now turn over about €5 million a year. We employ 74 people. We work as part of a very extended community of practice. Last year, our innovation lab, which is in a separate but nearby building, which we set up with the local university and Hewlett-Packard, who have their innovation labs in Bristol, brought in €1 million of research and development money to local businesses. So we act as a catalyst to help set up new creative businesses. So the impact on Bristol has been, one, to help catalyse the regeneration of the derelict area around the docks, which has become the centre of the city, and also to help to catalyse innovation in the creative media sector, which has led to quite rapid growth in the number of businesses based in the city, but also the number of people employed in that area. Over the years, as we've developed our production strand, so we've found many other sources of income. So 3 years ago, we bought the building that we inhabit. So the bars downstairs now pay us rent rather than us paying the landlord rent. And we recycle the rent from the bars around us into our production activities. We also raise money from charitable trusts and from corporate organisations, and we get some public money from the Arts Council. That accounts for about 10% of our income. The rest of the income we generate ourselves. I think the most important factors about Watershed has been our approach. Our approach has always been, we're interested in your ideas. It's always been, we want to share ideas. It's always been that we want to test and challenge ideas. And I think it's that openness, that belief that difference and diversity coming together will release new ideas, attracts people. I think the old model of culture, where you had a curator telling you what was good, is very closed, exclusive and dying. And I think it's getting people to participate while at the same time provoking them with what you think is good. So it's hold to your own opinion, but celebrate everybody else's ideas and try and set up a conversation and a dialogue, because it is out of challenge that people do their best work. So it's about be open, be realistic, get excited, say yes, make things happen.